mean, we're walking through the most remote jungle in the world in Tejikula, Indonesia, and we literally are walking up this trail, and I mean, there's monkeys running around and all this stuff going on, and we look to the left, and there's this little teeny thing, and we saw a sign that said vegan brownies, and I'm like, what? And you walked up this little path, and there's this little sitting area in the middle of nowhere, and this lady's making smoothies and vegan brownies and kind of like acai bowl type of things. And this guy just happened to be sitting on the couch with his wife having a cup of coffee. And I mean, it was just amazingly, it was so funny because you know how you're always prospecting, you know, I mean, I don't know if you are, but I'm always interviewing. I'm always looking for people that would be good at what I do. And he actually used, I don't want to paraphrase it exactly, but he used some kind of line like, well, you might be really good at what I do, or you might really enjoy what I do, or something like that. And I was like, oh yeah, well, what do you do? And he's like, well, it's this Japanese company called Magic. And I'm just like, oh my God. I mean, I'm 8,270 miles from home or something like that. And, you know, it's just, if you saw how remote it was, it just, you couldn't plan it in 1,000 years.
That is crazy, dude. You're out, I mean, like being out in the Sahara Desert or something, and you run into somebody that's a Kangen water distributor in some camel tent.
Well, let me just tell you this. I mean, Tejikula is like going back in time to the 1950s anyway. And then we borrowed a little with the Airbnb or villa we rented. We got a scooter, and so we're putting up this dirt road, and we find this, you know, something new waterfall. So we take a right, and we're putting up this dirt road, and then, you know, you're going over rocks and things like that. I'm like, I'm not even sure if this scooter should be on this road, right? And we pull up to this thing, we park, and you got to walk up this long path. Then you start going up this trail. And I mean, like I said, you got monkeys running around and all this stuff. And this waterfall was absolutely amazing. I've got some really cool pictures of it. But, and then just, you know, what are the odds, right? To just sit down and be like, seriously, you guys got smoothies here? And then the one person that happened to be sitting there was a KONGen water guy from Australia. I don't know. I couldn't have planned it. I don't know.
That's an awesome story.
Definitely would love to have him on the show. If you can work that out, we'll just do a special episode, whatever day it is that works for him. I'm gonna
try and talk to him today, because I'm doing a Zoom with him at noon, which is 6 a.m. his time. And I'll say, like, you know, 6, like a 6 or a 7. So that would either be noon here. So that would either be 1 or 2 for you. And I'll just see. He seems to be the kind of guy that's up early every day. And obviously, I would like to be on there too. So I'm going to shoot for a little bit more like 7 my time. But
right.
Sounds good to me, brother. Just let me know, because I've been dying to meet this guy and hear his story and get his story out there. And
yep.
And I think it's awesome. And
for sure,
you know,
it's like the Kaiser Soze of KONGen water.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
morning,
you know,
Marilyn.
and it's funny because morning, Marilyn.
Good morning. Nice call last night, Dan.
Oh yeah, Daniel's
Hearing
great.
that. Thank you.
And JJ, you know, the sad thing is he falls into the deal where so many people end up. I mean, I know that we're all kind of close on this call, but I mean, like, I talk to Tara all the time about, you know, what she could maybe be doing. I know Marilyn's a little bit orphaned, you know, and it's somewhat the same situation with Steven. And so it's just kind of, you know, ironic that, you know, it's been 2 years since we come home from Bali, and I was on a Zoom with him, you know, 6 days ago, and I'm on a Zoom with him today because, you know, he's, you know, got these machines and he's got all these people interested, and he doesn't have, you know, any guidance, or, and, you know, he doesn't know where the people were or are that sold him his machine, and he's completely structured all wrong. And, you know, and it's just, you know, to sit down and go over structure and try and help him get, you know, because he's got some really cool things going in Australia where he's about to sell a lot of machines. And we actually had 2 people on the last Zoom that were interested in trifecting in, and I'm like, we got to get your business set up right before you sign these people up. So, you know, it's amazing with the Magic, you know, is, you know, we're so new, but, you know, even a lot of the people that are out there really need like a head start on just getting their stuff right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a good thing that you can hook up with him now before he gets himself you know, in a further advanced place, you know.
Before he does a Wetzel.
Right? Yeah.
Well, guys, guess what? I had a prospect call yesterday and she wanted to sell me an air purifier. In return, I explained to her about, hey, that's like, you know, purifying our bodies. We got to have the right water, right? She said, yeah. And I'm like, wow, you know what? We could do this together. So Thursday, we have a meeting at 6 o'clock in the evening. We're going to do a presentation and she's going to presentate what she has. And I'm going to presentate my Kangen machine.
That's a great
Awesome.
idea.
That's awesome.
And that's something you got to get good at doing. I'll tell you what, I mean, being a network marketer and having, you know, some limited success with a Nagic, I can't tell you, I bet you 5 to 10 times a week, I'll get hit up for some kind of crypto or some kind of, you know, skin cream or motion or potion or lotion. And I'll tell you what, I drive them nuts because they're like, man, but I kind of texted you to talk about my thing. I mean, I wear them down, brother. I just wear them down. I'm just, you know.
I got her really excited too. She's so excited because she's all for health.
Yeah, I mean, people can't reach out to me about, hey, put this skin cream on your big toe and all these antioxidants are going to flow upward and without getting some of mine back. I promise you that.
You know, you guys, there's always opportunity. There's always opportunity. Like, for example, I have a guy that I got a phone call one day, like during the Kong family show. And anytime I get a phone call during the show, I just hit that little thing that says, sorry, I can't talk right now. And it sends back a message to them saying, sorry, I can't talk right now. And anyway, I get a message back from the guy saying, what's this about? You know, and then he ends up calling me to find out what it's about. Cause I go, I guess it looks like somebody's using your number to spam people.
Yeah.
And so we ended up into a conversation and he ended up signing up into Everrich and became agent within a very short period of time. And he wants to get a Kangen water machine too.
Nice. Yeah.
So yeah, you know, you never know. I said to him something like, you know, maybe there's a reason this phone call happened.
Sure.
That's what she said. That's what she said. He called me. I was busy on the phone with something else. So I just got back with that number and I called it. She told me just call it because there was no name, just a phone number. So when I called her back, she answered the phone and I said, well, I'm trying to find out. I'm curious, who is this calling me? There's no name. She said, well, did you happen to put your name down to have a air purifier presentation or, you know, someone to come in and demonstrate a air purifier in your home? I'm like, no, I don't remember. And she started naming off names. Well, do you know a Tiffany? And I said, the only Tiffany I know. Oh, yeah. Well, you responded to something on her post. So right there, you know, at least I questioned her before I was going to take the call.
Well, at least she's a go-getter. She's kind of taking a stretch. Hey, you responded to my friend's post, but you know, I mean, you know, it shows that she has drive and initiative. And, you know, here's the thing about conversations. What I've learned is, you know, I've learned to never say no to him. I'll give you an example. I have a guy, actually, he's coming over today right after my Zoom at 1 o'clock, and we're going to do some training. He called me about a year ago, right before the pandemic started. And he said, you know, I've got this guy and he really wants to do network marketing, but he's really, really interested in only doing online sales. And so he found some distributors out of Canada. He thinks that's where they're at, but he's going to end up signing up with them. They've sent him a couple emails, but he's never had a chance to really get anybody on the phone. But he really wanted to talk to you about the, you know, online versus personable and, you know, and so anyway, long story short, we ended up on a conversation. I said, so tell me why would you buy a trifecta from somebody you've never been able to get on the phone? I'm just curious, you know, how do you think that that's going to translate into your business? And, you know, we ended up talking probably 3 times over the next 7, 8, 9 days. And I just explained to him what really the heart of a Nagic is. And, you know, and it had literally boiled down to he had gotten one email from these people and they'd sent him a video, but he had tried to contact the guy numerous times, couldn't even get him on the phone. Well, long story short, we ended up talking about the way a Enagic really is supposed to work, and it's a very personable business, and it's a business of relationships and people, and he actually ended up getting 2 trifectas from the guy that put him on the phone with me, because he just realized that, we just kind of talked about the fact that I just don't know if this is the kind of thing you want to just send to somebody's doorstep. And then you certainly don't want to be the guy that doesn't take people's phone calls. And I don't like to be educated from people like that. So, you just really never know what's going to happen when you talk to somebody. And a lot of people that are even thinking about coming into Enagic, they don't really, and I'm not saying there's a right way and a wrong way, but I'm not one of those people that believes, hey, I'm going to sell this lady a machine in Chicago. She's going to get it dumped up on her front door, and best of luck to her. You know what I mean? I want people to have success, and I've seen too many people that, like I said, even on this call, that are kind of orphaned out there, and that's what happens just a ton with online sales. So I'm not taking anything from them. I've personally got friends that are making $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month in this project doing just that, online sales. They don't really know who their people are. They sell through Instagram. There's no real personal connection, but that's just not the way that I aspire to have my business,
Yeah. It's great that we have the Kong Family Show also to bring us together, to help us feel like we're not orphaned.
Well, and let me give you some perspective on that, because there is shows like this, but there's a lot of support out there, inadvertent or not. I mean, you may not know it, Marilyn, but last night on that call you were on, there was over 1,000 distributors from 12 countries on that phone call.
Wow.
I mean, there was people from Japan, Malaysia, Thailand, Taiwan, the Philippines, New Zealand, Australia, Canada. And so, just think about that. There was 1,000 people on that Zoom last night.
Wow.
That's awesome. So I wasn't one of those 1,000 people.
I was looking for you.
What a segue.
But
you got your own show. You don't need to be on there.
What were some of the things that what were some of the numbers or whatever that came out of it, brother? What
I was gonna say, that's what you got me for. You skipped the whole show, saved an hour of sleep, but
let's get a heads up.
Way to go, Jay John. That's brilliant.
But so, and just to circle back to Marilyn really quick. So Marilyn, there's all kinds of avenues, and if you want, we can start sending you more of those things. Because if you want to be involved in Enagic, there's literally something you could be on every day. But anyway, going to last night,
actually, Dan, Eli posted a bunch of pages that have all of those informations of where you can get on webs and phone calls, Marilyn. There's
really?
There's 6 or 7, Eli. So look at his page.
Yeah, there's groups that are doing daily calls and nightly calls, and there's a lot of activity, and that's kind of what he was talking about, is that last year was the year of transformation for Enagic, because we went from these big demos and in-home demos and large demos in big settings, to having to kind of go and do this virtually, where we could affect people and be able to see it. I was kind of showing JJ before we started, but I've kind of had to change. Like my office, if you walked in here a year ago, it was just a complete mess. It was mostly just stuff for going to marathons and doing that. But now I've got like this area for interviews, and then I can just turn it and I can do a KONGen water demo right there. So I've actually turned this into where it's really like 3 offices in one for business, one for interviews, and one to do an actual water demo. But last night they were, and I was really proud of it too, because I had, a great year last year. And I, like Daniel was speaking of, I thought we were going to be tremendously impacted by this, but Enagic actually had a 17% increase in sales to 2020 to 2019. And and why that's really cool, I think, is, we always had the power of the demo. When people see the demo, they see the colors, they see that ORP meter go -500. It's we're very, very visually stimulated as human beings. But now what we've done is we've taken the power of that, and then we've condensed it into working smarter, not so much harder. And what I really think is, if one day they ever allow this to go back to normal, I really think when those two merge, we're really going to see a huge transformation for Enagic. Because I want you to think about the fact, you're talking about a $4,000 to $5,000, what most people would consider as a high ticket item. And to have a 17% increase when, you had 20-something% unemployment and people were stuck at home, it could have gone either way for Enagic. We really could have taken, the bottom line is if Enagic would have said, hey, you know what, we made it through, now we're coming out the other side and we only had an 8% decrease in sales, nobody could really be mad at them. It was a tough gig and it was hard to do. And a lot of us had to relearn skills, me, myself. And so to have a 17% increase from 2020 to 2019, I think is a huge accomplishment.
Mm-hmm. And then some.
How many? Yeah, I mean, that's huge. You just looking at how many lost money.
Oh my God. I mean, well, and here's the thing, Wets. I mean, how many businesses are going under or in the process of going under?
Yeah.
I mean, I went down and did a demo in a town called Redmond. It's about 20 minutes away from me. You know Redmond?
Oh man, we played our regional Babe Ruth tournament in Redmond.
Well, I'll tell you what, and that's an affluent neighborhood. I mean, it's home to Microsoft, and half the businesses just look like nobody was there. I mean, it's really been something that's decimated a lot of people, a lot of businesses, and that's the other thing with Enagic. I mean, you have a lot of people out there right now saying, what is next? What is this going to look like for me? And here's the real unique thing about Enagic. Most people in these type of companies, they come up with this elaborate, pay plan that nobody and their grandma will ever understand. And then when they get it all so confusing that nobody could possibly comprehend it, they go, okay, now we got to find something to put with this. Is it going to be this bag? Are we going to sell these? Are we going to sell a potion, a lotion? But what we have is the most amazing product on planet Earth that works with absolutely every human being that actually takes the opportunity to drink the adequate amount of it. And then, by the way, it has this amazing, amazing, amazing pay plan. So, the cool thing about Enagic is you're always going to have this Mount Everest of a base of health underneath it. And then the rest is yours to do what you'd like. But back to that, I mean, these people are spending $10, $50, $80, $100,000 to open or maintain a business. Where can you, make, like Daniel said last night, from $50 a month to $150,000 a month from a $4,000 machine. So, this is an opportunity. I think people are looking for it. I got a guy that I work pretty closely with, and he's a hashtag guy. And so he was giving me hashtags for Instagram, just for some of you guys that want to know. And some of the biggest trending are, work from home, home-based business, work from your phone, time freedom. It's not, it's all about getting it done from right here, right now. And that's what people are searching for. And when something's hashtagging that strong on Google or Instagram or whatever, that means that people are out there looking. They're looking for an opportunity. They're looking for what's next. They were walking around with a blindfold on thinking they never needed a plan B. And most of them woke up a year later and realized they didn't even have a plan A.
Yeah. I mean, look, just to be here, this is the end all be all of that. I had a conversation of a similar nature a couple weeks ago. Would have my experience in suicide intervention and, working with trainers and, just that, knowing that Montana's always typically twice, triple the national average for whatever reason per capita, But at the end of the day, I mean, look at how many more people died of suicide than they died from COVID.
Right.
And that's the desperation in a lot of respects, I think. And I don't know, it is a crazy time. So to be able to have something like this that can help people, change their lives so dramatically and so purposefully it's powerful.
And Wes, I think you'll appreciate this too, because he had a new distributor sign up with him not even 10 or 12 days ago. And the guy sold a machine his second or third day. And then he called him back and he said, I have a really good friend whose brother wants a machine in San Diego, and it ended up being Troy Polamalu.
Ha! Nice.
Yeah.
One of the best free safeties in the history of the NUFL.
Right. So the thing is, you know, so what you're having now is you're having people come into this, and you're having people, and you know, and here's one more stat that's interesting. So there's around 7,000, and it seems like a big number, but it's not. There's around 7,000 6As in Enagic. And Enagic told Daniel D. McCullough, the way that they're pacing right now, they expect another 6,000 to 7,000 6As in the next 5 years. Well, why is that important? Well, it took 48 years to get the first 7. When it takes 5 years to get the second 7, you know you're trending in an upward trend, right? So think of it as a stock, think of it as something like that. But here's an idea, because this will put it a little bit more in perspective. December, well, I shouldn't say December. January is traditionally the slowest month of the year for high ticket sales. So you're talking about auto sales, you're talking about even retail gets bashed, everybody's returning stuff. People are just coming out of Christmas. I don't think that most people know, but the average American pays off his Christmas debt on May 22nd. Did you guys know that? That is when the average American clears their Christmas debt from their calendar. So January traditionally is not a big sales month for high ticket items. And in January, there was 140 new 6As.
Good Lord.
Wow.
Nice.
So
You know,
140 individuals around the world turned 6A in December. And I mean, it's just really trending in a direction. You think of that ripple effect, you know, back 7 years ago, 8 years ago, when they were selling 2,100 machines a month, it was no different, because everybody still told 3-4 people. Well, now everybody tells 4 or 5 people, but you have Instagram, you have Facebook, you have the KONGen show, you have Daniel D. McCullough, and the ripple effect, although it's very, very similar, it casts wider, and it casts faster, and it casts farther.
Yeah.
Amen. Hey,
You know-
for the record, Dan, even in my completely retarded structuring in my Han Solo endeavors, I am, with 2 of my other legs, I'm 40 machines away from a 6A on one of them, and I'm 52 machines from a 6A on another. So if I can help those 2 combine, get 100 machine sales, the long and lanky is going to be a 6A too. So that's
Right.
one of the things that I'm working on, and I'm, you know, that's where that affiliate stuff comes in, you know, but hey, I'm trying to leverage myself once and for all.
Well, and you know, in the only difference is between Sean out there finding, you know, 2 rock stars, because it really does take a rock star to move 100 machines. He's got to be somebody motivated, you know, articulate, a go-getter, somebody that wants to get out there, somebody who's willing to share, somebody that has influence. And the only thing that structure will really get you is you have the ability to kind of place those people yourself, instead of
Right.
like Sean going, hey, where's this guy? Hey, man, you were doing well. You only got 48 to go. Let's go. Let's go. I mean,
Well,
whipping
no,
the
I'm
horse.
saying that's under me. So
Oh,
one
okay.
of my other legs has 52 or 60 sold.
There you go.
And if I just can find one guy, help him become a 5A,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, or even if you go back and forth with the 2 and you find 4
That's
people
what
that
I've
can go
been
4A,
doing.
you know?
That's
Yeah.
what I've been trying to do. I just alternate. Every time I sell one, I switch it on my back office.
Yep. There you go.
So,
But yeah.
guys, I want to bring one thing up real quick about, you know, our company, and when we're talking to people about this, because as Dan just said, we're in a really special spot right here. We've got an amazing opportunity for people. But one of the things that has always really intrigued me about this company, and it comes from that book, Think and Grow Rich, is that when you're looking for a product, you're looking for something to sell, you're looking for something to market, you want something that has 3 ingredients. Number 1, you want a product that everybody needs. Number 2, you want a product that nobody has. And number 3, you want a product that has no competition.
Man, marry that girl. That's a heck of a recipe. That's like some kind of souffle. That's like a truffle of love.
And here's really the thing about Enagic. It really is, when you boil it down, if you get somebody on a Zoom, if you can show them a proper PowerPoint, if you can run through the properties of the water, it turns into literally the biggest no-brainer in the history of mankind. The problem is you have to get people in 2021 to think about water, right? But here's the deal. Once we do, it's just a no-brainer. You will not go back. I don't care who you talk to. Find me one person that owns a KONGen machine that looks back and goes, yeah, 6 years we've been drinking that stuff every single day. Man, that was a huge waste of money. What a huge waste of time. No, they're never going to say that. I mean, I talk to people every single day. God knows how many people I talk to every day. I mean, I know people that even 11, 12, 13, 14 years in, never sold a single machine, wouldn't sell that device back for $10,000. They wouldn't do it.
So here's where you'll find those people. And this comes back to something we were talking, or you were bringing up earlier, Dan, about the orphaning and that kind of stuff, is that the people who don't have anything positive to say are the people who bought the machine from somebody who didn't teach them how to use it, didn't teach them anything about it. And so they had no clue what they had in their hands. Like one of the gals that I went up and helped, 8 years she's had her machine. She's never even put electrolysis enhancer in it.
Right.
Never cleaned it, nothing. She doesn't, I went up and took care of her, got her all sorted. But, those are the people, and what they do is what ends up happening a lot of times to those machines is they end up on KSL.com or eBay or something like that because they don't understand the value of them. And that's something that obviously is, irritated us a little bit because, I've had 3 people that bought their machines from KSL.com or eBay.
Yeah.
And then they call me wanting help, and I of course help them. But it's like that's the thing. That's why it's so important for us to help our people, for us to help other people, because we don't want those machines out there taking away our business opportunity. We want, if those machines weren't there, and Dan, I think you were mentioning that there was something going on with Amazon. And what's going on with that? Is that still the case where people are not going to be able to, or Enagic's finally starting to crack down on that stuff a little bit? And what's
the last 3 times I've gone on Amazon, I have not been able to find a KONGen machine. I haven't done it in the last 30 days, but they've been completely obliterated off of Amazon as far as I know.
Good.
I was
Good.
house on Thursday at an American Assembly meeting, and they were having stuff, and I said, well, I don't want to eat because I didn't know if the vegetables and stuff were washed. And she goes, well, what do you wash your vegetables with? I said a K8. She goes, oh, that machine right there.
Yeah,
she goes, I
awesome.
use it. I go, you don't use your machine to wash your vegetables and meats and all that? She goes, how do you do that? She had not taught about the 2.5, the 11.5, the beauty water.
Yep.
Said, where did you get your machine? She got it somewhere in California. So I said, well, I need to come back and teach you how to do that, because you're missing out on the whole part of the basic part of the machine.
And here's the thing, Tara, is those are opportunities too, because, I know JJ has a pretty firm stance on who introduced you, but here's the thing with somebody like that, if you go back and get that lady excited and she actually realizes what she has and she wants to show that to other people, you have every right to say, hey, you know what, if you want to take this in a new direction and do this as a business, they can sign up under you and that lady can become a 2, 3, 4, 5A underneath you. You have every right to do that.
There was like 20 people at this meeting that night.
Yeah.
So it was a perfect opportunity. Yeah. I was just like shocked.
Dan, I gotta agree with you on that one, brother. I really have to totally agree with you on that. If people are just signing people up and they're not helping them, they're not doing anything to teach them anything that they're doing. And I'm not going to mention any names, but the person that I ran into, the old lady who's 80 years old, that didn't even get taught how to do anything with her machine. The person who signed her up is a highfalutin KONGen water distributor. And I'm not going to say who it is. I'm just saying that even the highfalutin, high rankers, whatever, they still neglect people too. And, I think if you're not going to teach your people how to do it, then you don't deserve to have them as part of your downline.
And how to hook it up and put it on the basic water. I don't even think she knew there was 3 different types of water.
Right. I've had people that have brought me their machine to clean, and I start talking to them about it. I was telling JJ, I think I've talked about it on the show like 3 or 4 times ago that I was on the show. She got her machine for 8 years, had been on the clean water. She was like, I know they tell me it does great things, but I don't really feel anything. I'm like, really? So, I mean, what are you drinking? 9.5? She's like, well, what is that? And I go, what? I said, she goes, and I was cleaning her machine. So she was watching me get it set up. She goes, I just leave it on that green button right there. I go, you've never drank an antioxidant in 8 years? I mean, it just blew my mind.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was shocked.
But, we have to, here's the thing. If you want to sit around and drink from that machine and just be, the Gandhi of Kangen water, you can do that. But you know what? When those opportunities come up and somebody is uneducated, and if you take the opportunity, like I always do, I'll educate people for free. I'll spend time with them. I'll talk to them. I'll do Zooms to Australia, to help people get their stuff right. But here's the thing. If they do show an interest after that and they say, well, my God, I haven't talked to anybody in 7 years. And the last time I called the person 4 years ago, their phone was disconnected. I'm sorry, but you know what? If they got 4 or 5 friends that need this device, they probably need to get an Ukon or something from Terra or show them the spa. Most people don't even know what the spa is.
Didn't know that either.
Yeah, and let them do the business. I had a lady not even 4 or 5 months ago, smack dab in the middle of all of this. She finds me through a friend of a friend. I heard you clean machines. She comes over here. We're talking. We had great rapport. Cleaned the heck out of her machine. Showed her some things she hadn't seen. She hadn't talked to anybody in 7 years. Loved her device. Had a few friends that wanted to see it. And then, she ended up getting a spa for me, and we ended up selling 2 machines to her friends. But, the thing is those people wouldn't have devices today if nobody educated her on another way. And, she didn't really know that she was anxious to share this, but she didn't really know what she had either, and so there is so many people out there that are already lovers of this product that just need a little bit of, and that's why we have that Kongen Culture TV. If you do know somebody that's orphaned, have them go there. They can look at videos, education on how to share water, how to introduce this to people, how to build value up to a 3-way call, how to edify JJ before you put somebody on his show or a Zoom. I mean, we try and do what we can, but if somebody loves this and they want to spread this for the world, we're not going to tell them, well, hey, good luck. We're going to give them options. I mean, like, Paul, Marilyn, Tara, I help these people all the time. I can do what I can. Now, I can't dedicate my whole entire life to them, but I give a lot of my time. But the thing is, if they came to me and said, hey, I really want to ramp this up, and I haven't been able to talk to my upline in 8 years, I'm going to take it to the next step if they want to go there.
As you should. If they can't get any support from the people who signed them up, then those people don't really deserve, in my opinion, those people don't deserve it, and they should be scolded for it, quite frankly.
You want to know what?
If you're going to sell one of these machines to somebody, it's your responsibility to teach them how to use the dang thing.
And I want to put this in perspective for people, because I could give you 50 cases of it, but I'm just going to give you one that's going to blow your mind. So Daniel D. McCullough, right? He was introduced to this product. The person was not that educated. They didn't speak to him a lot about the business. Water. They missed something. 7 months later, he ended up with an educated Kongen water distributor and bought a machine. He now sells 2,000 machines a month in his business. 2,000. So I want you to think what that person missed. And more importantly, what that second person, by doing it correctly, gained. Now, here's the thing. There's people out there like that. We don't have them in our business. I certainly don't have them in my business, but they are out there. And the thing is, when we do get in front of people, we have to take the time, educate correctly, show them everything. Don't ever tell yourself, oh, well, this person wouldn't be interested in making money. I don't want to show them this. Don't think for somebody else. You do what you know to be the right thing. And if they don't, oh God, well, there's a business associated, I don't want to do that. Hey, terrific. Have a good day. Nobody has to do it. But the thing is, don't miss an opportunity because you're feeling shy or you're feeling insecure or, oh my God, this is water. They don't want to hear about that. I want you to think about that, because as a 682 or above, I want you to think about one thing. They pay out 8 levels deep on monthly and quarterly bonuses. I'm just going to give you a little quick math. An Adjic may not like it. I want you to do the quick math on 2,000 machines times 3 is 6,000 times $14. That's roughly, give or take, what his quarterly bonus is. It's about 85,000 bucks, just so you know. And he gets 4 of those checks sent to him every single year. And that's before he gets out of bed. Now, the person that missed him would have gotten that money every quarter for the rest of their life if they had educated. So missing one person could change your whole entire life. Your whole entire life could change. I mean, it's like this Army guy he was talking about. He signed up. They met 14 days ago. The guy was coming out of the military. He had great credit. He had some cash flow. He was looking for an opportunity. He knew a lot of people. He just hadn't found the right vessel. Daniel sold him a machine, and in 13 days, he sold 4 machines. Okay. Now, if you know the 8-point pay structure, what did he make just off of that alone? Two. That's $10,000 in 14 days. And that's an extreme case, but I'm just saying is we want to take the opportunity to show this with people because we don't know what the next person's thinking. So always, always, always don't be, back to where I originally said, don't ever be afraid to have a conversation.
And then his friend had the store that had 3 water stores.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing too in itself.
Yeah. So he basically signed up a guy who signed up 4 guys, and one of the guys he signed up had already in 2 weeks gotten the guts done and was putting up a water store. So how unbelievable is that?
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah,
we got something special here, you guys. We do. That's why I'm keeping doing what I'm doing. That's why I encourage all you guys to keep doing what you're doing. The key is with all of this is just stay consistent. You know, keep doing what you're doing, and all of a sudden you're going to have people reach out from the middle of nowhere, like is what happened for me this week, where someone that's been following me for 3 years reached out. Somebody who's been talking to one of my people reached out. And, you know, it just, you're not expecting it, and all of a sudden it happens. And it looks like both of these people are excited about the business, and they're excited about doing things. And, you know, you know, that brings to mind another thing that I learned from Dan. You know, one of the reasons I love Dan so much is he's taught me so much about the ways that you can work this business. And, you know, to be able to take one cell and turn it into a second cell, and then take those 2 cells and turn it into a 3rd cell, and use that to get somebody else excited about the business that hasn't been, but has so much potential. Because like my buddy Johnny Horan, he knows people all over this planet. If he would just come to grips with what he has in place right here, right now, he could, you know. So this is exciting. One of his people reached out, wanted to get a machine, and so I'm working the process of doing what we call you know, what do I call it now? Where you take one cell and turn it into another cell, you parlay it over into another.
Anchoring. Well, it's called anchoring the person. You anchor them down, and then you find out who they're closest to, right?
Now, well, what I've got, you know, I'm going to end up doing if all works out right, I'll end up getting 3 sales out of this one sale. Because I'm taking one person that's interested and telling them, hey, if you want to make this happen now, now's your chance. I got somebody I'll put underneath you. And then same thing with those 2. I've got another person. I'm going to try and anchor them underneath that person, or parlay them over into that person.
Well, that's another terrific way to incentivize people, because, you know, that's the only sad thing about an Adjic is it's like people still are not ready to have that conversation about health and water. These are things that they take for granted, but people are motivated by fear of loss. And so what JJ is doing is tremendously effective, because what he's saying is, you know, hey, Steph, I see you up there, and I know you've been looking at this for a while. And, you know, you see Paul two little corners down. He's this close to getting a machine. And I know that you've been thinking about this forever, Steph. So if you decide to get a device, you know, in the next 24 hours, if you want to do paperwork, I've got Paul coming on board, and I'll put Paul underneath you. Takes about 8 or 9 sales to get all of your money back, and we'll have one out of the way immediately. You know, and people are motivated by fear of loss. You know, hey, Steph, what if Paul goes on to sell 18 machines in the next year? What if Paul turns into the next Daniel D. McCauley? You know, if Steph's been properly educated on that pay plan and what that could look like for her, a lot of people are motivated by fear of loss.
Yeah, amen, brother. It works. It is really useful. And in fact, Stephanie sold a machine back last year, and we parlayed that one into another sale for her. And so, yeah, you know, it's a great way to go about things. I encourage you guys to use it. I know that once I learned this from Dan, I always do all of my sales through getting forms filled out. Instead of sending them to my website, I do it through a form. And I want their forms, and then I can take their forms once I have them. I can take them and I can parlay them into more sales possibly. Yep. If not, because you got to put a time limit on this stuff. Like,
for sure,
the time limit for the second person. If she doesn't get it done today, then the order's going in. You know,
well, notice why I said the 24-hour. You have to put something on there because you have to give them to incite the fear of loss. You have to give them a deadline. It forces them to think. It makes them consider, God, you know what? He's kind of right. I have been looking at this for a while. Maybe it's just time I pull the trigger. You know, you have to motivate them. And you know what I tell people? Hey, Steph, you're going to end up owning one anyway. Why not now? You are going to own one of these devices. You absolutely will. So now's a great time.
Amen, brother. Amen.
Right.
So does anybody else have anything they want to bring up to Dan? Or I think we've had a really, as usual, we always have a fun show when we got the numerator in the house, because
JJ always gets so worried that we don't have a script. And I tell him, man, I don't need no script.
Yeah,
what are you talking about? This is what I do. There's nothing, you know, other than being on a warm beach, there's not really anything I enjoy anything more in the world than talking about Kangen water and the benefits and what it can do for all of us. You know, this is what I do. Somebody could offer me triple the money to do something else, and it would be a short conversation.
Yeah, amen. There's no way I'm going to get out of this. This is my passion in this world, because I truly believe if I had known about it while my mom was still alive, I believe she'd still be here with me today. And interestingly enough, you guys, I had a dream about my mom last night.
Yeah.
I actually got to give my mom a kiss. It was so real. It was so
amazing.
And I haven't had a dream about my mom in about 20 years. But last night I had a dream about my mom. And I got
it's amazing. It's amazing how that works. My dad passed many years ago, and there's, you know, that unfortunately I wish it did, but the feeling never really goes away. You know, but you know, the thing about this is, you know, so many people need what we have. So many people, you know, use what JJ just said. And even what Dan just said. I'm passionate about what I do. If you listen to me and you don't get the word passion out of what I say, you're not listening. And JJ just used the same word. And so what I want you to do when you're talking to people, I said at the beginning of this thing, I am always interviewing. I am always interviewing. And what I want you to do is look for people that don't have that. What are people missing in their life? Ask them, you know, what would an opportunity do for you, Paul? I mean, if we put that opportunity in front of you and presented you with the chance to do this, this, and this, what would you do with it? You know, oh, well, I like to travel, or I like time freedom, or I haven't been to one of my grandson's baseball games. You know, people are missing out every single day, and they don't even know they have an option. You know, so be interviewing people. You know, a lot of people will see somebody and go, man, that person doesn't talk and they're not motivated by anything. Hey, listen, there's nothing wrong with you igniting the passion in somebody else. A lot of them just don't know that they have it. You know, show them a different way of life. You know why people don't identify with network marketing? Because they've been cloned and droned to believe that getting up, getting in the shower, at the same time every day, eating their breakfast and putting on their clothes and getting in their car and sitting in traffic is what they are supposed to do with the rest of their life. They don't know what time freedom is. They don't know that this exists. I don't, any one of you can reach out to Carlos Gonzalez and ask him when he was recruiting me. I was like, what do you mean? I literally was so closed-minded. I was like, there's nobody that like doesn't have a job. What are you talking? I mean, you're trying to give me some kind of fish line, right? And he's like, no, dude, I'm talking about complete time freedom. I'm like, no, dude, you don't just, because he would go to yoga and then he would go to the gym and then he would stop by my dealership and try and talk to me. And I'm like, dude, but the thing is even I had no idea that something like this was out there, that time freedom was available. I'm lucky I'm on Zoom. Look, I got slippers on. It's 9 in the, I think it's around 8:39 in the morning, but I got slippers on and sweatpants, but it doesn't make me any less effective talking to you. When I was in corporate America, you could have said, JJ could have said, okay, Dan, 7:18 a.m. It didn't matter. I could have told him exactly at that moment, exactly what I was going to be doing with my life. Whether it was walking the dog, feeding the dog, the 7-minute window that I had to take a shower, the 8-minute window that I had to get to work, the 4 minutes I had to put the coffee on. I mean, that's how regimented my life was. That's how stuck I was. I knew exactly. You could have said 7.5 weeks from now on Wednesday at 8:12 in the morning, what will you be doing? And I would have been right. Isn't that sad? Hey, but you know what? A guy like me could look in the mirror and go, yeah, but I'm doing well and I'm making money. And okay, I'm working 65 hours a week to the bone. I come home at 9:30 every night and there's a meal in the fridge from some girl that cooked it that's already asleep. But that was my life. People don't know about opportunity because no one's ever told them. All these things that they teach people in school, they're not teaching them anything that's helpful. They're not teaching them about, they want them to identify with a 9 to 5 and this is your purpose,
Dan, do me a favor, brother. Let's close the show out in this department. And whatever this might stimulate some more questions and that's fine. But what is your life like now? You just told us all that your life is back then was every single minute of your day regimented from 6 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. What is it like now?
I mean, every day is a little bit different, I mean, like I have 2 Zooms today to do later on today that weren't even on the books yesterday. So I don't really know. It's one of those things where, I mean, Liz will tell you, I'm kind of always working, but I'm never really not doing much, well, I mean, and it's kind of true because, it's not hey, I've got this demo at the spaghetti factory tonight. And then at the office on Saturday, I'm doing a demo, but it's really kind of a life by design. I mean, I'll get up, I usually will spend a few minutes having a cup of coffee. I'll do a little bit of a workout. I'll get a little meditation in and I'll kind of start my day. But, it's really, obviously, if we were more open, then there would be some yoga involved and and taking some time for some personal things. But my life's just not filled with a bunch of stuff. But it's very rewarding to me because, as Paul or Tara or Marilyn will tell you, if they reach out to me at 11 o'clock and go, God, I got this question for Dan. I hope he gets back to me before tonight when I talk to my person. Anybody that knows me will say, dude, that guy will probably get back to you within a half an hour. I mean, because this is what I do. And I love it. I mean, I absolutely love it. I love that today at noon, I'm going to be on a Zoom with about 9 people in Australia, man. I love it.
Yeah. So you get to have a life of your choice, and that's kind of cool. I've been living that life for a long time now. And it hasn't been like the super successful life, but still being
you want to know what
yourself has its rewards.
Let me tell you what about the word success. It has all kinds of perceptions, JJ. Yeah. If somebody would have came along and this is what happened with the Nagic, when I found out what I had, when I saw what this opportunity was, when I started to get a taste of what it could really turn into, I'm going to be honest with you. When I walked away from that full-time gig, I wasn't making not even 45%. When I called my mom, she said, "Are you out of your mind?" And I said, "No, Mom, I just got to do this. I'm taking 90 days. I'm putting everything aside for 90 days. I've got 90 days worth of bills sitting in an envelope. I'm going to give this 90 days and see if I can turn this into a life by design." And it's been 3.5 years. And motivation, and I'll give you another clue. Motivation can be a big motivation. So I get a little bit lazy. I tend to be a little, anybody will tell you, Dan's always working, but I don't like to work too hard. I'll be honest about that. I'm not one of these guys that's out running around 9 days a week, but I'll tell you what, I kid you not. The very first month that I walked away from KONGen water, when I was used to going and doing that 60 to 65 hours a week, that first 60 days, I treated it like a job, like nothing other. And that first month that I walked away was actually one of my biggest financial months in my entire life, even if you go up to today, because I had that get up, get it done, let's go, but this is your job now. You know what I mean? And that takes me to another thing. You got to treat it like a job. Yeah. You got to treat it like if you're going to treat it like a career, you got to treat it like a career. If you're going to, talk to somebody every 9 days and share water every 3 weeks, you're going to get a very, very part-time, you're going to get part-time things back, part-time money, part-time, whatever. But if you really make the idea that you want to turn this into something, you have to be dedicated. You have to get up. I tell people all the time, I do things every day. I do the things that people don't want to do so that I can live the life that they can. It's just the bottom line.
Right.
I've been, since my routine's kind of shifted. I usually get up 8:15, 8:30, 8:45, but you know what? I commit to JJ. So, I get up at 7, have a cup of coffee, and I do this because, that's what I said I would do. But the nice thing is nobody's making me. I'm not going to get fired if I don't. If I'm sick and I call JJ, I'm not going to get let go, So the thing is we do get to live a life by design. And so back to what JJ was saying, I think if you're living your life for yourself, I think if you're doing the things that are important to you and that you love, you're already successful.
Yeah.
I know most people that I talk to, if you say to them, "Hey, listen, do you want to make $20,000 a month and work 65 hours a week and miss every one of your child's ball games and never be able to take your wife out dancing on a Friday night and probably not home for dinner most evenings, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Or if you could make $7,000 and have a complete life by design." Now, most people will go, "Wow, 20 and 7, that's a huge drop off." But 95% of them will say yes to the 7 or 6 because it's a life by design. It's a life they created. It's moments with your family. It's what you want to be doing. Do you know how much oxidative stress there is just in the word job? Getting up, going there, feeding the dog, sitting in the traffic, being on time, not pissing off your boss, getting along with your employees. That's oxidation. That's stress. That's not adding anything to anybody's life. So so even me and JJ can get caught up in what is success, but success is content and happiness with yourself. Success is feeling good about what you're doing and who you are.
Yeah.
That's why
Amen.
we got to live. We got to be living the vida agua.
Right.
Living the vida agua.
Dan, I appreciate your correction on that, because it wouldn't be the kind of success that a lot of people would call success. But heck, I've been down the Grand Canyon 9 times, and that's something that most people in their life would hope that they could maybe do it once. And I've done thousands and thousands and thousands of miles of river rafting, which is still a passion of mine, and a wonderful thing to do. But this right here, this is going to give me the opportunity to be able to do that stuff well into my 80s and 90s, like Georgia White did. And so it is really exciting to be part of something so powerful. And I really think that just the simple fact that we have this product that, I mean, there's no doubt about it. Not only every person on this planet, but every animal on this planet, every plant on this planet needs what we have. And hardly anybody has it. And it has no competition. A big fat zero at this point right now. There's nothing, you know, about the leeches. And now there's so many that say they have the same thing, but if you put them under the microscope and do a little bit of introspection on it, you'll find out that no, it's not even close. So we have something that we are blessed with, that we have got to do no less for others, and just give them the chance.
And
Like
JJ, a big part of that, though, of what you're saying is, you know, we don't realize this because, you know, Wetz is on this call every day, and the people that are involved and know me, they've heard about water, they know about Kangen water, they know. You have to sit back and realize to yourself, do you know that there's going to be people 5, 6, 7 years from now that come up to you with this utter excitement and go, oh my God, Tara, have you ever heard of this? This is going to be brand new to people still in 5, 6, 7 years. And the reason that I say that is because, you know what? None of us is Daniel D. McCullough. None of us is making that kind of money. But you know what? We're all in the same position of being 2, 3, 4 people away from that. And the biggest thing is to go back to what we talked about early. The only people that lose are the people that quit.
Yeah.
You know, let me just tell you what, because if you don't believe it, somebody like Sean or Tara or Paul has the ability to come along and you can get lucky in a magic, and they can eclipse what I'm going to make this year. 1 or 2 people can completely change the whole entire outcome. That's the way Enagic is. I mean, so like Daniel said last night, you know, you can be great. You can be one of those people that knows it. Luther, I got a 140-pound dog leaning up against my computer. I thought I was having an earthquake for a second. Knock it off. And then he said, or you can get lucky. And, you know, you don't get 2,000 machines a month in your business without getting lucky.
Yeah. Well, remember what the definition of the word luck is, kids. It's laboring under correct knowledge.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to labor under that correct knowledge in order to get lucky. You've got to, you know, you might consider it lucky that you had an opportunity to go golfing with somebody or something like that, you know, someone saw one of your posts or whatever. You might call that lucky, but you had to labor to go golfing.
And can I tell you this? If you're interviewing, if you're looking at people, if you become a student of studying people, you're going to find you get lucky more often than other people. Because you want to know what? A lot of people are just walking through life, letting opportunity pass them by. I'm not saying everybody you're going to talk to in the grocery store is going to buy a machine from you. I'm not saying everybody, you know, that you run into on the beach is going to buy a machine from you. But why not have a conversation?
Yeah. Yeah.
Amen, kids.
You don't know what it's going to turn into. You just don't know what it's going to turn into.
Amen, brother. Another powerful episode of the Kong Family Show with
no script. Damn it, Dan.
Damn it, Dan, you need to clean it up and read from the teleprompter.
Oh, hey, I got to take one of those Sleepy Joe classes. Can you raise this thing up a little bit?
I wanted to go there. Go ahead.
I can't see that thing. Oh, okay. Hold on. My earpiece fell out. Hey, listen, I got to confess, Liz is downstairs telling me everything in an earpiece. I'm just repeating it. You know what I'm saying?
You know, that's the thing about this show that I want people to understand is I want this show to come from the heart. We don't ever do any kind of editing or anything like that. This is all just like straight off the cuff, straight from the heart. And it is going to be what it is. You know, if there's some things that go wrong, so be it, you know, but mostly it's really right and really heartwarming what we're able to accomplish here and what we're going to accomplish down the road. Yeah. And so I'm just so grateful for you, Dan, for you coming in once a month and blessing us with
coming in hot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, thank you to everybody, man. I hope everybody has a tremendous day, and I just appreciate the opportunity.
So does anybody else have anything they want to bring up to Dan before I give us a closing prayer and we get off and get on with
Yeah,
our
I
day?
have to. Back to our regional Babe Ruth tournament. We stayed with host families. This one in this house was nice, big wooden, everything siding was all wood, but it was new. It was totally uptown. And they had this long driveway of blackberry bushes. Well, my country ass, I roll in and I'm like, oh my God, I ran into Willy Wonka's driveway. So we're hanging out that night and she just made us dinner and we go outside and Steve and the host kids we're out throwing football around and just doing our thing. And I'm over there eating blackberries like I'd never had them before. And the mom comes out and she's like, well, hey, honey, you seem to like those. I was like, look, I'm in Montana and we got to go out into the forest to get berries, not just in our driveway. She made me, we were there for 6 days. God's honest truth. And she was beautiful. She made me blackberry pancakes, blackberry waffles every morning from that point on.
That's awesome.
And yeah, I loved it. So yeah, Redmond, that's crazy. I haven't been to Redmond in a long time, but yeah, I loved it. Yeah, it was a good time. So
The
yeah,
only
just
thing-
little.
I was going to say the only thing that could have been better with that there, Wets, is a Kong machine on her countertop.
Well, it was 1983, so we were a little ahead of ourselves in that
Hey,
assessment. But right,
If Wets would have had a machine in '83, we'd be calling him the Godfather, and we'd all be underneath him.
Godfather. Now I'm just the dog father of structured chaos. But hey, I'll figure it.
Luther, stop. Don't knock yourself.
All right, kids, I love you guys all so much, and thanks for being here today. I'm going to give us a closing prayer and then get on with another amazing day. Our Father in heaven, I want to thank you so much once again for another blessed day where you not only allowed me to open up my eyes this morning and my heart and my mind and my soul so that I could get out there and have a chance to help others do the same, but while I was sleeping, you allowed me to see my mom again and give her a kiss, and I really want to thank you for that blessing. That was amazing. I want to say thanks to you for all these wonderful people that you've put into my life, and all the people that are going to continue to come into my life because of this incredible gift that you've put onto this planet for us to utilize, you and Mr. Oshiro and all the people that work so hard behind the scenes, all the people over in Japan working in the factory, just everybody that's part of the whole thing. I really want to ask that you'll bless all of them with the most extreme of blessings that you're capable of giving to them. And I want to say thank you for Dan, his willingness and his generosity to come here once a month and bring such awesome messages to us. I want to ask that we can be able to absorb these messages and take them out and utilize them in the world, that we can always be doing interviews, that we can always be sharing and doing no less for others as we move about our days, as we come in contact with people. I want to ask that you will give us the strength and the courage to reach out and the ability to give out the right message that will touch people, that will have people want more. I want to also ask that you will try to stop us from saying too much and going too far in that beginning. Just put out a little bit. Help us with that. I know I need a lot of help with that. I'm so excited, so passionate about this that I get rolling and I need to stop. So I'm sure we all have our same situations with that. If you could help us to slow down and save a little bit for later. Of course, I've got to ask for some blessings for all of our trucker friends out there, for Scotty and Rodgar and Sylvia and Elvis and all the rest of them, because, you know, every Kong machine that gets sold, it's got to be delivered by a trucker. And so they're doing a thankless job. They're out there dodging all them damn anesthesia, and you know how dangerous that is, Lord. So please take care of them. We need them to deliver the goods. We need them to be continued parts of our family. And I just want to say thank you once again, Lord, for all the blessings that you provide me on a daily basis, and want to ask that you will help me to continue to stay strong and confident along with everybody else here today and everybody that's going to see this down the road. All of this, Lord, I'm asking humbly in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ, my Savior, our Savior. Amen.
Amen.
Thanks, you guys. Have a terrific day, everybody.
You too.
Guys, make it a great one. Don't forget your hugs.
Woo-hoo.
Thank you. Have
Make it
good
a great
day.
day, kids, starting with your own.
Giddy up.
Bye for now.
You guys don't, because then he's gonna start.
We'll see you tomorrow. We should have Sam on the show tomorrow.